Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Sarita. I did not expect to do this video today, so this is a little bit of an impromptu kind of video on a Monday. I will be coming back at you tomorrow with a fancy candle review of Kringle's Serene Green line, or at least the three that I purchased. But today I noticed when I was at the doctor's office, when I was looking at Target's weekly ad and checking my wish list, all that kind of thing, I noticed that there are a couple of hurricanes that I've had my eye on at Target that are very much on sale this week, 20% off, but it's still, they're already fairly reasonably priced. And then with the 20% off, it makes it even more reasonable. I went ahead because I was close to a Target, ran in and purchased a couple of them. I might end up returning the smaller one, but then I thought, why don't I just hop on and show you the hurricanes that are available right now at Target that are reasonably priced and that are on sale. So these, the ones that are on sale are select hurricanes that are in the indoor and outdoor section of the store. So don't go where like the home decor stuff is. This is going to be in the area where they have all the gardening and the pots, etc. You will find I believe the hurricanes that are in that section are 20% off, and there's a lot of them. And I have had my eye specifically on this big white one that looks like this. Yes, it's a monster. So I've had my eye on this one, and it comes in a smaller one. Come here, baby. Come here, my sweet baby. That looks like this as well. So I actually forgot to bring a Homeworks candle to measure. So I just went ahead and got both of them, and we're gonna measure them here. And I just wanted to show you kind of what they look like. Let's walk through what candles go where. So this candle, this hurricane right here, goes regular priced for $30, which I think is still a fairly reasonable price. This is like a ceramic, and this is a fairly thick, nice glass here. It is on sale now for $24. And then this huge monster one is regular priced $40 and is now on sale for $32. So I went ahead and got this one as well. Obviously, it kind of depends upon your aesthetic. For me, it works. I don't know if you can tell here. I'm going to move the camera. But there in my corner is where I have my hurricane, which I got from Aldi's for $8 or $12, that wood one right there, which is really nice. I like it. But I've been looking for a white one because I've kind of got a very like white gold Miami Beach kind of decor there in the corner of the room. So this is gonna go like super perfect with it, no question. But I believe, given the material here, that it would be easy to paint one of these too if you wanted a different color. And there are other kinds of styles of hurricanes. Like there was a kind of a concrete looking one. There was a almost mercury glass one that was more industrial. It had a black bottom to it. So there's several that are discounted in that particular section. And I will try to link below all of the ones that I saw that were discounted. So you do have some amount of selection there. So I assume most of you know about hurricanes, right? So really, there are two reasons for hurricanes. And the first one is really just aesthetic. When you have a beautiful candle and you want kind of a place to like put it, then hurricanes are a really nice, not only a stand or a holder, a base upon which to set a candle, especially if it's fairly broad and kind of fills the diameter of that base. It's really nice. Homeworks does a lot of bases, even without the glass hurricane part of it. So it's a base, and then ideally with a glass topper that kind of pulls off of the candle. Now, honestly, you can get hurricanes that are fairly large and they don't have a removable glass situation. Totally fine. You're just going to like put your candle kind of top down in the bottom of it. And then obviously you do have to wait for it to cool down, to extinguish before you go trying to remove it again. It's just a little bit more convenient when you can kind of lift the glass and do whatever it is that you want to do with the candle, or even just lift the glass and allow it to do its thing with the base on, no top. So it is aesthetic, but the glass also has a utilitarian function. It allows for more heat to build in that spot where the candle is. So it's going to allow kind of a problematic candle to pull a little bit more easily. It concentrates the heat. And also, especially if it's got a fairly like long chimney, you know, it can also kind of intensify the fragrance and push it out with a little bit more strength. So generally speaking, you can get a little bit, it is at least a possibility for you to get better strength and throw if you've got your candle in a hurricane. What with the combination of better pull time, thicker wax pull, and also kind of an intensification or a centralization of heat, energy, and strength in terms of your fragrance. I generally get about a half a point to a full point more strength and throw when I've got a candle in a hurricane. Sometimes it doesn't make an appreciable difference, but often it will add at least a half point to a point. I don't know that it usually adds a whole lot more than that, so it's not a miracle worker. If you've got a really, really, really weak candle, often your best bet is to put it in your guest bathroom. Shut the door. But it can help. And given the strength and throw of especially Homeworks candles over the last couple years, hurricanes have become almost a necessity for those Homeworks candles. And to be honest, given the wideness of the Homeworks candles, there is something really, really lovely about displaying it in one of these kinds of hurricanes. So I haven't actually unpackaged one of these, and I'm going to do that, and we're going to fit some candles inside of them. So this is the smaller one here. By the way, it says ceramic and glass outdoor and indoor use. Let's talk about safety. Always, and this goes for any candle that you burn, whether you use a hurricane or you don't use a hurricane, please be safe. Never leave your candle unattended. Definitely don't walk out of your house with that candle burning. Don't go to sleep with your candle burning, etc. I mean, that just seems fairly basic and fundamental. With a hurricane, you are applying more heat and intensity to a candle in a hurricane. So, a fortiori, just be super cognizant watching that particular candle, making sure that it's okay, it's not getting too hot, etc. Now, generally speaking, I mean, I've been using a hurricane for a while and I've not had any problems. And I was even using that Aldi candle, which is on the cheap side, and I've had no issues with it overheating, with it cracking, or anything like that. And I think we can all agree that Aldi is probably on the scraping the bottom of the barrel bargain level, certainly at the price point that I paid for it. I was fairly impressed with the thickness of the glass. So thickness of glass is definitely something that you want to look at, even if you're buying a hurricane at like Marshall's, TJ Maxx, wherever else. Even if it's not necessarily made or manufactured for candle use, you can probably still use it for candles. Just make sure that it's a fairly thick glass. Now, in terms of safety, in terms of heating glass, what is actually more important is that glass is tempered or glazed to a certain extent so that it can withstand heat. And so obviously hurricanes that are made for candles, specifically if you're getting like a fairly expensive one, there is some amount of guarantee that the glass should withstand normal heat of some kind of a candle. But there are always caveats even when they're manufactured for candles, because depending upon how many wicks you've got on your candle or how large your candle is, that heat level may fluctuate. So if you've got a single wick 8-ounce candle, you're going to get a whole lot less heat applied to whatever your glass hurricane is than a candle with like 3 or even 4 wicks or something like that, where automatically your candle is going to be getting pretty hot on its own. You've got 3 flames and it's just going to heat the glass even further. So obviously, the larger your candle is and the more wicks that it has, be even more careful about just watching to make sure that your hurricane is okay. Without knowing, though, the amount of glazing or the amount of tempering of glass, in lieu of that, look for thickness of your glass, because the thinner your glass is, the easier it's going to heat up and the more vulnerable it is going to be to cracking. It does not mean that a thick glass won't necessarily be vulnerable to cracking, especially if it's not glazed in the right way, but it will take a great deal more heat for it to get up to that place as opposed to a thinner glass. Does that make sense? I was really happy to see the thickness of the glass here, and I don't even know if you can see quite how thick it is, but look at that. I would say that that's almost, it's at least a half a centimeter, if not 3/4 of it, maybe a half an inch. It's a very, very thick glass on this really big hurricane. Now here on the smaller one, it is a smaller, it's not quite as thick, but it's still fairly decent. And the reason that they're getting away with less thick glass here is because they're immediately assuming that you're going to have a smaller candle. Yeah. I think the Aldi one was kind of similar to this one in terms of thickness. And I thought that one was quite thick. All right. So there's a cardboard insert here and you can just take that off. Here is what the littler one looks like. And as you can see, it just drops right on there. This is a hollow ceramic, so it does have like a hole there, but it's like fairly nice. And if you're concerned about slipping, I mean, I don't know why your candle would be rattling around in whatever space you are, but if you wanted to, you could put rubber, feet on it or whatever else. So no problems there. And then here is the larger one. By the way, I should give you diameters. So the diameter of this one is, does it say? It says use with a 3-inch diameter. Okay, hold please. I am actually going to get a tapey thing so that I can be super accurate about the width. And I know it probably lists it in the details on the website, but let's just talk about it in person, because sometimes they'll be measuring the diameter of like the outside, but not the inside. And then this, of course, is larger diameter than this one. And so I just want to give you the most accurate information. All right, hold please. I am going to go get my tape measure. Okay, I'm back with said tape measure. Okay, so I am measuring the small one right now, and I'm going to try to measure the inside here of the vessel. It is almost exactly 5 inches. 5 inches. And so you can't put a candle greater than 5 inches in this thing for sure. And then the actual base here is almost 7 inches for what it's worth. I don't know that that's as crucial. So let's talk about what fits in here. So I'll tell you what does fit is a 3-wick Homeworks candle. So the 3-wick, here I'll show you. 3-wick has some space to spare. Let me see if I can put the glass thing on. Yes. Okay, so it's a fairly snug fit, but the candle can still move around in it. This is a 3-wick right here. And it still has some give for sure. It has some give. It's a real nice snug fit. And to be honest, this is an almost ideal fit because the more close your candle is to the glass, all things as long as it's safe, again, you're going to get better heat and better strength and throw. And so it is beautiful. It's lovely. It's a lovely fit just for that 3-wick. Unfortunately, I do not believe that the 4-wick would fit in here. So let me just try the 4-wick because the 4-wick is larger. Yeah, the 4-wick doesn't fit. It doesn't even fit it doesn't fit flat, even just with the base, even without this. So the smaller $30 or $24 this week Hurricane works very nicely with a 3-wick Homeworks candle, but not with the 4-wick Homeworks candle. Now, I believe it would probably also work very nicely with, yeah. So that's kind of what a Bath & Body Works one would look like. Yeah, very nice in it. And let's put a Yankee Candle large tumbler in there, see what happens. Okay, you can, but it's a little taller than the actual thing. And so you're not gonna get a whole lot of a benefit in terms of strength and throw, because as you can see, the lip of the candle is almost exactly it's even with the lip of the Hurricane. So you're not gonna get any kind of tunnel intensity with strength and throw, but you will get heat if you need heat. Yeah? I would say that this smaller one works better with 3-wick Homeworks and with Bath & Body Works. If you would like a Hurricane for Bath & Body Works, I think that works really well. So I think you just have to kind of judge how often you burn 3-wick Homeworks candles, and or you like your Bath & Body Works in a Hurricane. I don't generally put my Bath & Body Works in a Hurricane, but frankly, especially the Bath & Body Works candles of this first quarter of the year, a Hurricane would probably have helped. That said, the Bath & Body Works candles do tend to burn extremely hot, so it may not, it's like bringing coals to Newcastle. You really may not, you may not get as much difference as you would like in terms of that. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to keep this one because I don't burn a ton of 3-wick Homeworks, and I don't generally put my Bath & Body Works candles in Hurricanes. But it's really pretty and it's really nice. And it's actually kind of the size I was looking for. This over here is like monster of the world. But let's see what it looks like when we put the Homeworks in it. So to measure this one, the inside of this one is, it looks like it's about 7 3/4 of an inch on the inside of the glass right here. Let me take the cardboard out of this thing. Oh, it's got some styrofoam padding too. Okay. And we'll put the Homeworks in here. Yeah. I mean, it's large. It's large even for the Homeworks, but i.e. there's a lot of space. He looks kind of small in there. So ideally, I think I would probably want a Hurricane that's somewhere size-wise in the middle of this one and the small one, but instead you just kind of have two options, one extremely large and one just a little too small for Homeworks. So let me just lift this off and give you a sense of the diameter on this one. That's the diameter there. Okay? Kind of depends on your footprint. I want this white aesthetic, and so I will probably stay with the Monster one, even though it's a little bit large for my space. Yeah, that's what I will probably do. But there are a couple other Hurricanes, like I said, in the indoor-outdoor section, and they don't all have these particular dimensions, especially in terms of the size of the base, the diameter of the base, etc. So I actually would think about just heading to Target if you've got one close to you. Head to Target and look at the options, and hopefully they're in stock. For the most part, they have been in stock. You can order it online for sure. I would say that Target's shipping of fragile items is kind of a toss-up. I gotta be honest. Often there's not a whole lot of care given, and something very fragile will sometimes just be thrown into a large box and come to your house absolutely shattered. So the thing about it is, Target is actually quite generous with their return policy, and you can usually do it online, especially if you order it online. Just in the app or whatever, just say, mine came shattered. They may ask you for a picture, give them a picture of it, and usually on the spot they will give you a reimbursement, and they'll say, like, don't even bother bringing it back to the store. And if it's just the glass that shatters, you may actually be fine just keeping the base for free for your inconvenience. Yes? That being said, it is ceramic, so it's quite possible that the ceramic wouldn't do particularly well with bad shipping either. All I'm saying is, if you ship it, all bets off, and be prepared. Be prepared for it to come shattered. Obviously, they will probably reimburse you and send you a replacement if that's what you prefer, etc. But you may have to do it a couple times. So if I were you, I would go to the store, and you can even take some candles with you if you want. Oh, the one thing I didn't do is a Kringle candle. Let's see what the Kringle... But see, Kringle is going to be very similar to Yankee. Yeah. In fact, Kringle is actually taller than Yankee when it's a large one. So as you can see, it's lower than the actual Hurricane. In here, it's fine. It's great, but you do have an enormous amount of space on the sides. So that's what that one looks like right there. Okay. So anyway, I would have appreciated, because sometimes you look at something online and you can even look at it in store and just be like, I just don't know, like, what's that gonna look like once it has a candle in it, and like, I don't know. So I just wanted to show you guys. Again, Monster one is on sale this week for $32. It might be more than a week sale, but especially if they're popular, they go fast, you know. You may not get a good selection, especially in the store. So just wanted to let you know. So it's $32 on the huge Monster one, and then it's $24 on this smaller one, which very nicely fits Bath & Body Works candles and 3-wick Homeworks ones, like a dream, like it's actually designed for it. So yeah, that's what I've got for you, my friends. Like I said, I'm probably gonna keep the Monster one. And yeah, I'll probably do away with my Aldi one. Although the Aldi one is a better size. Like, it's in between the sizes of these two. So it's actually a little bit more ideal, but I just like this white aesthetic. I think it's better. And the thickness of the glass is quite nice on this larger one. So there's that too. That's what I've got for you. I'm going to link all of this down below. If you're interested or looking for another Hurricane, definitely check it out. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow.